Welcome to another night of terror here at the Fireside Tales. Once again, we will be traveling into the abyss of madness and staring into the eyes of death itself. Before I begin, I'd like to make a quick announcement. The following story is completely improvised. True, this is based off of a true story. This is the actual book that I'm basing this off of, but most of the words that come out of my mouth come from absolutely nowhere, making them up on the spot. With that being said, let us begin. If you'll just give me a moment to get the lights. The following comes from the diary of Tim Matters. I have done my best to tell the story exactly as he told it, with, the improvisation. I keep having the same dream every night. I'm walking through this forest, and there's no one there. There's nothing but darkness. Sometimes I feel that there's somebody watching me, but when I turn around, there's no one there. I don't know exactly what's going on, but I feel like there's something that I need to understand, or that there's something that just doesn't make sense. But I know it must be my imagination. I told my mother and father about this, but they just said I was being silly, and told me that I needed to take more of my pills. I've taken to drawing the forest in my artwork. I've got all sorts of pictures all over the walls. My parents think it's a little strange, but I just tell them I'm trying to be artistic. Anyways, I'll let you know more about this forest in my dream later on, the more I discover. The story goes on to just continuously tell about the forest, and just nothing about anything really happening, until an event on October the 23rd, which immediately took interest to me. I was walking through the forest, and I saw a man, and the man was wearing a white tuxedo. And I looked at him and I said, "Who are you?" But before I could say anything else, the man was starting to run away, and I chased him. I chased him through the forest, yelling, "Who are you? Tell me who you are!" But then the man was gone, and I woke up with a start, and I was sweating all over. I don't know who the man was, but I plan on finding him again. There's something about this forest. Anyways, it continues to go on, with more passages about the forest, and kind of heartbreaking. The boy seems to become obsessed. Anyways, that is until February the 5th, where again, something very odd happens. I was walking through the forest, and I saw him again. And I said to him, "Who are you? Please, don't run away this time." The man didn't say anything, and I said, "Look, I just want to understand what's going on. I want to know that I'm not crazy." Well, the man, he didn't say anything, but then finally, he turned around and he looked at me. He was an older man, and he had a long white beard on his chin like a billy goat, and he was wearing a white tuxedo, and he had a huge smile on his face and a twinkle in his eye. And the man said, "Hello there, my child." And I said, "Who are you?" And the man said to me, "I am the man in the white tuxedo. I am more of a perception than anything else. I may not even exist at all, but then again, perhaps I am the great truth that you have been searching for." "What's going on?" I said. "You'll have to find out on your own, but I think the dream is coming to an end." And then I woke up in my bed. I went to my parents and I said to them, "Mom, Dad, I keep having that dream over and over again every single night. Could you please just... What's going on? And my father looked at me and he said, "Oh, boy, you're just being silly. It's nothing more than just a dream." And my mother, she looked over at me. "Oh, yes. Come, Tim. It's all right. You're just having a nightmare, that's all. Look, we're all here for you. We all care about you. Just know that it's just crazy thoughts, and you don't want to be mistaken for a madman. Why, everything is here. We're all real." She knocked on the table. "You see? Solid wood. I don't think those dolls on the china towel cabinet are going to come to life any time soon. So you don't worry about a thing." Well, I, for some reason, didn't find my mother's words comforting, and the strange look that she gave me sort of made me begin to wonder about things. And anyways, that's all he says for a little while. Until one night, when something very odd happens, which I will state to all of you. I was walking in the forest, and I met him again, the man in white, and he said, "Follow me." So I followed him, and we came to a large wooden boat, and he began to go across the lake. And there in the middle of the woods, in the lake, and also the lake, was an island, and I walked on to the shores. "This is your home," he said to me. "Follow me." And I followed him. And as I came through the town, it seemed like a normal, regular village. But I soon realized something was off. For all the people there, they didn't have eyes, they didn't have noses, they didn't have mouths or ears. They were faceless people. And there was also animals there, and they didn't have any faces either. And I said to the man in white, "What is all this?" And he said, "This is your home. My boy, this is the place you were always meant to be. This is the true reality, the island in the woods." And I said to him, "Well, but why does everyone here seem so happy?" And he said to him, "Some people will think to themselves that there is no such thing as true happiness, and that anyone who believed in such a thing was brainwashed. But I'm here to tell you, my boy, that we are simply different. Not evil, not cruel, not brainwashed. And your world itself is brainwashed in its own particular way, even if it doesn't believe so. But come with me, boy, and I will tell you everything." And he did tell me everything. He told me that I was one of his 5 children, and that we'd all escaped from an insane asylum. You see, all the people in the island of the woods were the man in white's children, and we were children that weren't quite right in the head. And he explained to me, "I was so worried about you, my boy. I loved you so. You kept talking about all these strange things, this world where there was elephants and hippopotamuses, strange big huge creatures that were brown. And then you talked about these human beings with faces that could create amazing technology, rocket ships and computers. It was very bizarre, but very wonderful story, I had to admit. Still, I'm glad you're home. I'm glad you've made it back. And perhaps we can go searching for your brothers and sisters and bring them back to the island as well, to their home." Well, I didn't know what to say to the man, and I said, "Look, this isn't my home. This isn't the place that I'm meant to be. Just take me back. Take me back home." The man in white, he looked at me. "Well, that's how you feel. I love you so. Come on, we'll go back." He took me back, and we walked through the forest, and I said, "Explain something to me, man in white. What is reality? What is truth?" And the man in white said, "You were living in a dream, my boy, nothing more. And one day you'll wake up from that dream." "But what is reality?" I said to him. My boy, if you do not want to believe in that reality, in your mother who keeps an iron jaw on you and keeps you always under her control, if you don't want to believe in any of that, then that's all it takes to make it not true. Reality is whatever you choose to believe it is. And that's all there is to it. Then I awoke. I was crying. I told my mother and father about it, and again they just said I was being silly, that there was nothing but wood. But anyways, that's all I have to say. A couple more months pass. Now it's August, quite a long time, actually. And the boy said he had another strange dream. I was sitting in my room, and I haven't been having this dream about the forest anymore. But I woke up and I saw my mother, and she was staring straight at me, and she was looking at me, and she said to me, "Don't go! Don't go to the forest with the man in white. He's nothing but a liar. Stay here." Well, I didn't know what to say. I couldn't say anything. And then she was gone. I told my mother about it, but she said it was just a bad dream again. And I was pretty sure it might have been. But it was so very strange. I think maybe I'll go back to the forest again. One more time. A few more days pass. And then the journal comes to an end, I'm afraid. That's all there is to the tale. I'll tell you exactly what happens. Tim Matters, it seems, disappeared. All that was found were a bunch of drawings all over his walls of the man in white and of the forest. His parents, his sister, his brother, they had no idea where he went to. They searched for him for years, but they never found him. Did Tim Matters go with the man in white? A man that I have seen many times in the stories of the Fireside tales. A man who constantly makes an appearance, almost a figure of folklore, if he even exists at all, which I myself have doubts about. But anyways, it does make one almost feel sad, because there's still 4 children left in the forest out there somewhere. 4 children who need to come home. Please come home. Go back to them. Just kidding. As always, sweet dreams and good night.